Hello to everyone and anyone watching this video. My name is Taja. Welcome back to my channel. Oh no, I haven't shaved. So yeah, this, as you can see from the title, is a story time. This is the story of how I was nearly kicked out of my university in my second year and had to retake my second year because I failed an exam and then missed my retake exam.
This is really embarrassing.
So this is part 2 of my university mini series that I'm doing. A few days ago I posted my university experience. So if you want to know like a more in-depth story of my whole time at university, then I would suggest watching that. But if not, then you can just stay out and watch this story, which is a fun one. For me, not really, because it's kind of traumatizing. Well, I mean, it wasn't at the time. Now I can kind of laugh about it, but it's fine. I get a snack and a cup of tea and like whatever, I don't know, you normally eat or drink or do when you're watching chatty videos like this. But do that, have that, get that, and let's get started. So once again, I have notes because I don't want to talk too much. So if you watched part 1 of my university series, you will know what led to me like failing my exam. So again, like I said, you should watch that for a more like detailed explanation. But just as a quick summary, in case you didn't want to or just forgot, basically my mental health wasn't really good and I wasn't really doing well in my studies, like all of them. But there's one module in my second year that was really difficult. A mix of that and mental health stuff meant that I failed it. In my normal like mental health state, I would have done not as well as my other subjects either, but I was really doing badly in my other subjects. So for that one, it was the mental health plus the fact that it was a really difficult module. I didn't stand a chance and I failed that module. It was the first time I'd ever failed something and it was really scary and I was like, oh my god. It was fine because, you know, retakes, summer retakes, that's fine. I'm just gonna retake it, pretend this never happened. I didn't tell my mom because I thought she'd be angry. Obviously when things didn't work out, she had to find out, so that wasn't good. Failing that module was a wake-up call for me in terms of my mental health. I tried to get counselling, but due to different reasons I ended up not doing it. I think the waiting list was long, and then also like they said something about having to call, and at the time like I felt really anxious about stuff like that. Basically I did okay in my second semester, but obviously in the back of my mind was obviously this retake that I had to do. But it was fine, it was under control. That summer in secret I'd like go to the library and study because my friend from a different uni had to retake as well some of her exams, so we'd go to the library and like we'd revise in secret. In my spare time I would revise and stuff, and you know, it wasn't going amazingly, but it was going alright. Like I thought, okay, and maybe I'll pass this, you know, it's all good, it's fine, I've got this under control. So it came to research season in August, and luckily for me I had an excuse for leaving and going back up, which was that I had a braces appointment. And luckily I did actually have a braces appointment. When you get your braces tightened, it really hurts and stuff, and it's like, for me anyway, it was really bad. I'd be like laying in bed all day, like oh my god. So I was like, oh yeah, probably stay a couple of days after my appointment because I'll be too much in pain to come home and like whatever, so I'm just gonna stay a couple of days extra to get better and stuff, which was the truth. But as well as getting better because of my braces getting tightened, I also had to retake my exam. Went back up to Leeds, had my braces appointment, did my last minute revision, and it was going well. It was a really difficult module for me, so it wasn't like oh my god, but it was alright, and I felt kind of okay about it, and I thought, okay, maybe I could pass this, like it's going well. So this is the part of the story where you're really gonna understand when I say I'm a dumb bitch. There are some times where the light's not on upstairs. I don't know if it was the stress of the exam or if I was tired or the pain from the braces, but I'm pretty sure I looked at the timetable that I was given for my retake. But for some reason in my head that my retake was in the afternoon, and oh my god, I'm so annoyed because I literally got up early. I got up early to do, because whenever it's exams I always get up early just to do last minute revision. So I literally got up, and if I had stopped and checked I could have like realised, but no, I was too busy revising. And then it got to about, I think it got to about 12ish, and then I had this little feeling. My spirit was telling me something was off, something wasn't right, something wasn't as it seems, you know? So I was like, let me just have a little check on my timetable just to make myself feel better, because you know I'm really stressed out, wanting to make sure that this exam goes well. So I log on and I click the button. I don't know what button it is, some button that tells me when it is, and the screen pops up and I look at the time that my exam is supposed to be, and I'm looking at my watch. I don't have a watch. I'm looking at the time, I'm looking at my metaphorical watch, I'm looking back at the time, because something ain't adding up. Something's not right. And yes, to my horror, I realised my exam was in the morning, not in the evening. So yeah, obviously you can imagine the stress, the anguish, the it's like fuck. I was in my pajamas at this point. I quickly threw something on. I ran to uni to like where the thing was meant to be held. I'm sorry if the lighting's kind of weird. It's getting dark and I've had to put my lamp on, so it's gonna be kind of orangey, so really sorry about that. But stick with me, the story gets better. I ran to uni in the place I'm meant to have my exam and no one's there. I'm like, fuck, I'm fucked. So then I run to the School of Psychology to just like speak to someone to let them know I fucked up, I've missed my exam. What do I do? So I run, I bump into my, thank goodness, this is so lucky because I didn't expect this to happen because obviously it's summer holidays, but I see my tutor. I'm like, hello, hey, hi, you, tutor, man. So I've missed my exam, help me, what do I do? And he's like, oh yeah, I'm not sure, my wife is ill, so I mean, I can't really help you. I'm like, hello, you're my tutor, you're like paid to help me. Sorry about your wife, but help me. He takes me to the support officer. Shout out to Louise, oh my goodness, Louise saved my backside this day. He takes me to Louise and tells her the situation, and I tell her the situation. Hi, so it's a new day that I'm filming this because I was trying to film and just wasn't working, getting too dark, getting really noisy. So here we are, back again. So yeah, Louise was basically like, yeah, I'm sorry, you're not gonna be able to retake this exam because it's like over and like you can't retake a retake. And by the time I got there, the exam had finished and there was a chance that I may have got the answers from another student, which obviously I wouldn't do, but according to like university policy, they were like not allowed to let me take the test. So I was like, okay, well, what are my options, because I've got to take this test so I can go to third year. And then she's like, about that, yeah, third year might not happen for you. You haven't taken the retest, which basically means this module counts as a fail. And in my university, you have to pass everything in order to proceed to the next year. So as far as I was concerned, that's it. University, bye-bye. So I'm just like, huh? Like, I'm sorry, what? Like, can you rewind for a second? What? I started crying. I had a breakdown in front of this random woman that I didn't know at all. It was really embarrassing, but yeah, I was distraught. I was just panicking. I was like, oh my god, I fucked up my whole future. So I was like to her, you know, is there any other options? Like, is there anything else I can do? Is there anything? Because I was desperate. She saw how upset I was. So she says, the only thing you could do is apply for mitigating circumstances, but you'd have to have evidence. So mitigating circumstance would have to be for the first exam that I failed. So basically I'd have to have a good reason or evidence that would explain why I failed that exam, basically. Now, I remember earlier when I said that the reason I basically failed was because of my mental health and how I was trying to get counselling but I didn't really go for it properly. Please, 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 if you are struggling in university, get some help so you can get evidence, because if anything like this happens to you, you can get evidence that you were struggling. Because I was suffering in silence, I didn't have any concrete evidence to suggest that I was struggling, and I failed this exam because of my mental health. So when she was saying if you have like a doctor's note or anything, maybe we would allow you to reset next year, but because I hadn't gone to anyone or said anything, there wasn't any concrete evidence. So I'm like, fuck, like I've really like fucked myself up. So then I'm like, okay, well shit, what am I gonna do? How am I gonna get evidence when I haven't spoken to anyone official? She says, well, okay, maybe if you go to like your doctor, your local GP, and ask if they could give evidence, maybe then we could use that as evidence. I wasn't even sure if they would give me evidence because it would be the first time I'm going to them saying, hey, I was a bit depressed so I failed my exam. There was a chance that the doctors could say no, and even if I did get the evidence, there was also a small chance that the mitigating circumstances people would say, no, that's not concrete enough evidence, no, you're not going through to the next year. Even if my mitigating circumstances was like accepted, I wasn't sure like beyond that what they would say, like what my next steps would be in terms of like retaking, if they would make me retake the whole year or retake the whole module just for that module. But the thing is, if that was the case, then I'd be an external student. I'm in her office for like 2 hours. I like have to call my mom. I'm in her office like crying to my mom like, oh mom, I got something to tell you, like Obviously she wasn't happy, but whatever. There's nothing else that Louise could like do for me really, so she just like, you know, just go home, get in contact with your doctors to make an appointment and see if they can help you, and then once you get evidence to send it over to me and we'll see what we can do for you. Like, when I look back on this like whole like situation, I can like laugh about it and stuff, but at the time I honestly genuinely think this was like the worst thing that had ever happened to me. It sounds kind of like stupid because like it's just uni, like, and like the amount of times I've like joked about wanting to drop out, even like after this I've said, oh, I hate uni, I want to drop out. But this is the thing, like okay, I'm gonna get personal. I haven't had an easy life basically. My home life was quite bad at this time, and then my school life was like awful. Like, don't really want to talk about it, but it was bad mentally. Like, I was just in a very dark place, and university was the only thing that kind of saved me, I guess, when things were really shit. I think one day I'm gonna be out of home, I'm gonna be in my own place in a different city at university, and I won't have to be at home and stuff. And the thought of that all being taken away from me, it honestly just messed me up. And I think as well it was the fact that like the things I went through when I was younger, like I could have easily gone off the rails, easily like gone off the rails, and I had every right to, but the reason why I didn't was because of uni. I thought to myself, if I go off the rails then I may never be able to progress further, despite everything I always tried to do well at school and stuff, because university. And I knew that I'd feel better knowing that I survived all that and ended up there. At this point where I was being told where my place at university could very possibly be taken away from me, it kind of felt like I'd suffered for all those years at home and at school, and it was all for nothing, because now my place at university was going to be taken away. All those people that affected me and all those events and situations that had affected me, they'd win basically. I went back home and I was in a very dark place. I think as well that summer my mental health was really not good because of other like personal things, like beyond like university and the retake and stuff. There's like other things happening in my life that was a bit shit. Your mental health is really a bit and then something like this happened to me. Like I think it was a few days in between this whole thing happening where I missed my retake and then me booking the appointment and going to the doctors. So for this whole like few days I was literally in bed. I think it was the fact that like I couldn't really have anyone else to blame. Like, it was my fault that I missed the retake, it was my fault that I failed the exam, it was my fault that I had not gone to anyone about my problems. That kind of made things worse. All this anger and frustration was kind of being targeted inwards. Yeah, we're not gonna talk about that too much because I don't want this video to be too depressing. I went to the doctors, explained what happened, so thank goodness she said, yeah, I'll write it for you. Honestly, like, thank you. Obviously she can't hear me, but thank you so much. Like, you literally saved my backside. If I didn't get that letter explaining that I was struggling with my mental health, I wouldn't have a place at uni. This wouldn't be here right now. I got the letter and I sent it off. We're not out of the woods just yet though, because I still have to find out if they accept my evidence, because even with the evidence they could have still said this evidence isn't concrete enough. So no, sorry, not going back to university. Before I was feeling completely hopeless, but now I had some hope that maybe there's a chance that things are going to be okay. Just waiting. I think it was like another week later or so, and I get a call, and the call is from my tutor. I think I missed his call, so I listened to the message and he's like, hey Taja, yeah, we've got the results of your mitigating circumstances, please call me back, it's really important, we need to discuss your next steps. And I'm like fucking stressing out, like I'm like, oh my god, what's he gonna say? Is he gonna say I've been kicked out? Is he gonna say that I have to retake the whole year? Is he gonna say that I can only retake the one module and I'm gonna be an external student? Like, I don't know. I was really panicking. At this point I think I was more leaning towards wanting to retake the whole year, because like I said, my other modules at this point wasn't that good because of my mental health. I feel a bit positive because he didn't sound upset or anything or like panicked or anything, so I was kind of like, I think this could be good news. And it was good news. Not only did he say that my place at university was still secured and I didn't completely fumble the bag, but he said that I had an option of retaking the whole year or retaking just the module, which was like, what? Like, I couldn't believe it. Like, he was giving me an option. Like, after everything I had the choice to choose like what I could do. I thought they would just tell me like, because of this you have to do this. Oh, I was so happy. I was just so grateful. Like, honestly, I was just, oh my goodness. I did retake. My modules weren't that good before. Like, I got a 2-2 overall. I knew I could do better, and I knew that, you know, if I got the proper help, I knew that if I did the year again I could like get a 2-1 probably, maybe, hopefully. Yeah, it worked out for the best. Somehow. Honestly, sometimes I feel like I don't deserve it. The fact that I was so stupid and did something literally so thick. But you know what? It actually worked out for the best. I feel like looking back, everything in my life has just worked out better having stayed 4 years. Sometimes in life things happen to you and at a time it's like,
but you did this for what?
but then like you look back sometime later and you think, you know what, that really awful thing that happened to you actually was a blessing in disguise, which is what I genuinely feel about the whole situation. I feel like I was meant to miss that retake and I was meant to fail that exam because my life has worked out well.
Pew, pew, pew.
So that's the story of how I nearly fumbled the bag and lost my place at university. I never got my degree, but we did it. I'm really grateful that it worked out. I got counselling, I sorted myself out, and now I'm here. I hope you enjoyed this story time. Let me know if you enjoyed it, if you want more story times. I feel like my life isn't that interesting, but I can like dig through the crevices of my memories to see if I can find something, and I can do this again. Hope you enjoyed this video. My last will be a university advice, so if you want to see that video then make sure you're subscribed and tap the notification bell. Yeah, have a wonderful day and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.